Good morning and welcome to the Daily Cyber Briefing for Tuesday the 3rd of June. I'm Stephen Ridgway. Yesterday, Google released an out-of-band fix, or in fact more than one, out-of-band fixes to security vulnerabilities in Chrome. Highest severity flaw being addressed is CVE 2025-5419. It's an out-of-bounds read and write vulnerability in V8 JavaScript and WebAssembly engine. As always with these things, Chrome is pretty good at updating itself, although if it is sitting there with the relaunch browser to install updates or whatever in the top right hand corner, it's best to click on that and get the updates done. These are IP with these. Chrome updates available as of yesterday. Also, on the subject of Chrome, Google has pulled trust from a couple of certificate authorities. So Chunghwa Telecom and Netlock certificates. Trust will be revoked from August, I believe. So existing certificates should be okay. Future certificates won't be trusted. On both occasions, it's down to the certificate authority not complying with the requirements around authenticating themselves. So effectively, the certificate authority therefore won't be further trusted. So they're both reasonably small certificate authorities. And it is something that they may fix, I would say, in the future. If you are using certificates from either of these CAs, or potentially, I think Netlock has issued in the past signing certificates, so sign on behalf of type certificates that you may potentially be using within your own organization. If you are using them, recommendation is to proactively swap out those certificates for certificates from a trusted provider. The support will be pulled in Chrome version 139, which is due to be released in August this year. So you've got a little while, a couple of months, to sort this one out. If you don't sort it out, then the browser will come up with your connection is not private warning in the future. Now, it does raise an interesting point that we are generally at the mercy of the browser vendors or the developers of browsers as to what is or isn't trusted in the way of certificates. They manage the trusted certificates store. It's certainly, I don't know, I haven't looked recently. It certainly used to be possible to manipulate that, make changes to that. But generally, we are all left hoping that the developers of maintainers of the browsers that we use are doing a good job deciding which certificates to trust or which certificate authorities to trust and which not to. And it hasn't historically been true that everything that is trusted has remained safe. So it's something to be aware of and something perhaps to think about. And this is a good example of one where, due to the certificate authority not managing their certificates well, risks can be introduced to your organization off the back of the fact that certificates may be being abused for nefarious purposes. So, yeah, we've spoken a little bit over the last year or so around how much can you trust, just blindly trust organizations to look after your security. I think the answer is they do a reasonable but not particularly good job. And if security matters to your business, being aware of some of these areas that may need to be actively managed rather than just assumed as okay. Yeah, it's definitely something to think about anyway. And then finally from me today, Australia, the Australian government is introducing ransomware disclosure rules. So the bill, which I believe is going through its legal process in Parliament in Australia, basically ties down private companies, not public bodies, private companies, and I think individuals, to reporting to the government if they have been in negotiations with ransomware groups, what ransom was demanded and what they ended up actually paying. Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Reporting requirements are within 72 hours of making a ransom payment, or when the reporting business entity becomes aware of the payment. So it is tied to larger organisations. So organisations with a turnover of 3 million Australian dollars, which is about roughly 2 million US dollars or more, which actually scoops up that scoops up a lot of organizations that are not particularly big, to be honest. So there's a good number of SMEs that might have a 2 million US dollar turnover. Yeah, I'm in two minds about this. In fact, no, I think actually I don't approve of this. I think fundamentally, firstly, I don't approve of this because it's adding burden to private business, whereas public sector has just exempted itself from the requirements for all of this stuff. So apparently it now becomes an issue if private businesses are paying a ransom, but it's okay if your tax dollars are, tax pounds are spent on ransoms. We don't need to know about that. No. Then there's why does the government want to collect this information? They want, I think, did I say they also want details of the negotiation, so not just how much was asked for and how much was paid, but what did you say to the ransom group in the meantime? How is this going to help? If you want to prevent private companies from paying a ransom, just make it illegal. otherwise, what are you going to do with this information? I think if it's, I don't know whether this will then become publicly available or not, but let's assume it does. Well, that puts an organisation that's been hit by ransomware in a particularly difficult position. So government reporting that something has happened, but that will have market impact. So I can't see how enforcing that is a good thing. If you think it's private, but it's going into some government level database somewhere, well, that's going to remain private for, well, a relatively short period of time. It will just become a target for other hackers. You can then see who's paid and who hasn't, which surely means that organizations that have a track record of paying are more likely to be targeted than organizations that don't. I think this is, I don't know because I haven't read the bill, but my gut feeling is that it is a well-meaning but poorly thought out intervention yet again by governments into things that they really don't understand. And on that cheery note, that's all. Oh yeah, so and watch out for this coming to a country near you in the near future. Right, that's all from me for today. Hope you have a good Tuesday, and I'll speak to you all again tomorrow morning.